Welcome to Champion Investor. It's month 2, and we've got a new leader, and we'll talk to the new leader in a bit. First and foremost, opening soon is my SharePickers Investment Club. If you'd like to register interest there, go to sharepickers.com/subscribe. And in fact, there's a video up there right now. You can see more information on that. But I'll go through the stats so far. End of month 2 for Champion Investor. Of course, 12 months of this year, starting 2024. This is the stats. These are the stats. Players in profit so far, only 28.86%. Players more than 20% in profit, 2.92%. Not a lot. Players more than 50% in profit, it's less than 1%. And players more than 100% in profit, just over half of 1%. But then this month's champion investor with a total gain of 287%. It's AimPanda. You're right, fella.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Well done on that. That's an amazing return, a fabulous return. Now, so Ali, take us through. What has been your big gain now? Where's which stock have you gained most money on?
So the stock that I gained most of my money was Helium, HE1.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Let's bring the chart up for helium actually. So HE1, that was a crazy stock. Like I said, it was almost left for dead, and
yeah,
people thought it was going to collapse because they had a couple of problems, didn't they, with drilling in Tanzania. They're looking for exploring for helium, and they had so
yeah,
many rig problems, all this stuff. And so you can see, I mean, if you even scroll back, I mean, look at that rise previously. It was like several. What was that? In the early days, it went by sort of 336%. And then
yeah.
it's been dropping below that and even below the IPO price. And then it really dropped out of favor here. And almost, look at this. It's in fact, it's likening it to a medical condition where it flatlines. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
It's
then it doesn't seem like it, does it? But I mean, that's a huge rise there from the bottom there. So when did you get in then? And why did you get in?
Helium's kind of a company that I've followed in the past, and I've traded it when it was around 9 pence in that region, and I remember it being, in the region of 7 to 12 quite regularly. And so I have followed it. I do know what they're about, but obviously you can see the chart shows they had a bit of a near-death experience. Well, I think they were dead for quite a while
Yeah.
there. And I kind of yeah, oh, yeah, 1,200%. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
kind of I thought, well, look, they do have something there. And I kind of it was a bit of a gamble, I'm not gonna lie, but it was I just kind of banked on I thought they can bounce back from this. I didn't
Yeah.
think they would bounce back that much, if I'm honest with you. But they just seemed to kind of rise from the ashes and go crazy, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is one of those situations, like you say, it does happen on AIM sometimes. A company, I mean, it's a very risky play when a company's on teetering on the edge of going bankrupt, and we are in a bear market still. So a lot of companies in AIM are going bankrupt, on a regular basis. It could have happened here. So it's literally, I mean, you can do it with a fancy stocks and shares competition because it's not real money. But if you
Yeah,
put your money in there, you've got to be prepared to lose it because it could be lost. But then
yeah.
any sign of recovery, and it's almost stratospheric. And like I said, it did do about 1,200% in a few sessions, which is phenomenal. Now, in real life, Ali, did you have any money in that?
I didn't.
Oh, gutted, yeah.
I was
Mm,
thinking of putting money into it. But I wasn't that confident in it, if I'm really honest with you.
yeah.
Obviously with the fantasy trader game, it was a little bit different. But I was thinking about it. I was like seriously thinking about it, and I just kind of I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably should have.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, this is what it is with AIM, isn't it? You just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring with it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I think, a risky play is putting a little bit of, in companies like that with a hope
Yeah,
this will turn out like this. And many of them won't turn out at all. They just go bust or bankrupt or you lose your money. But all you
yeah.
need is one by doing 1,200% and it'll make up for all the losses, I suppose. But, some of them don't play out like that. I mean, that was a massive rise. Like I said, it's still way below its IPO price. So, people who've got in when it listed still underwater. So
Yeah.
tell us a bit about your story then, Ali. I mean, when did you? I mean, obviously you invest and trade in real life. How did you get started? How long have you been doing it?
I started trading around 10 or 11 years ago. Um,
Mm.
so my background's economics. I studied that at university. I did also study it at college as well. But the main reason I kind of got into trading was we did a module as part of the course, a trading module.
Mm.
and we did something similar to what we're doing here. We did like a fantasy trader
Okay.
kind of game, and it was graded and everything. You know, we had to pick certain stocks, kind of and write reports on why we picked them, why we think they're going to do well. If they went wrong, do we know why they went wrong? Things like that. So it was kind of like a ground upwards learning of how to navigate the stock market. So that's really what got me into it. And I mean, back then, I don't think I did too well, but I think I did well enough to kind of continue and, you know, explore this journey more, really.
Yeah, I love that. Do you know what? That's exactly why, I started this. And I think it's such an invaluable sort of skill to have, learning to invest, learning about businesses. Because even if you become, a business owner yourself, then you have to learn about these kind of things. Because like investing in business, you have to get to know about sort of balance sheets and cash levels, all that stuff, income statements. And so it is a skill worth. And I've often said the reason why I set up my investment club and this is because, of course, my economics A level teacher, Mr. Barry Williams from Wales, he was, and he set this up, and I loved it. I thought I found economics A levels a bit boring, and this is
Yeah,
what livened it up for me. Once a week, we'd go to the sort of the library, look through the Financial Times at all these
okay.
numbers, and
Yeah,
we just pick a stock. So you have a clue what we're doing. But I like the fact that your teacher of his made you sort of write down, why you invested and
yeah,
why it went wrong or why it went right, because that is the start of the germination of getting to learn about investing. I think if we can start, all students, all young kids having a bit of this knowledge, it'll be so much. Not only, if you extrapolate that across to every school, then we will churn out better, businesses across the country will be, more progressive as entrepreneurs, I think. And I think it's really a valuable lesson system. Like, do you remember who your teacher was who did that? Or was
I,
it a curriculum thing, or did just one teacher start it off?
I think it was part of the actual the
Okay.
actual course in general. It was part of the course. I can't remember her name, to be honest with you. My
Yeah.
memory's not that great.
That's all
But
right.
yeah, but I mean, it was definitely valuable, purely because you kind of learn the foundations of
Mm,
what you're looking for, and you know, trading stocks.
yeah.
And I think it is quite easy to kind of go into this game not knowing the real
Yeah.
the real reasons behind why things move and what's going on, really.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it was really valuable just to teach the foundations, and I think that's kind of what I've taken with me and built on as I've continued trading.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, and also it's a complete learning game. I mean, I listen, I learn every day from trading and investing. I mean, I do more investing than trading, but especially in the last 2 years, I've said I've been investing since the dot-com bubble. But in the
Okay.
last 2 years, I've probably learned more about investing in the bear market than I have in any period of time previously, and I've probably learned half my knowledge in the last 2 years. So it's completely a learning curve all the time. And I often say there's only two ways to build and create your own wealth, and that's to own a business, a successful business, or own a share of one. And so you
Yeah.
can do that with the stock market. You own a business, but I like, for example, Helium One. I do classify as a different kind of company. I like to say there are businesses, which I mean generating cash, profits, all that, and then there are hope, hype, potential stocks. And
Yeah.
there's a lot on AIM that are hope, hype, potential. That means they're
Yeah.
pre-revenue,
Definitely.
they're loss-making, but the potential can be huge if it goes
Yeah.
right. They're normally very small, and that potential so fuels the hope and the hype. And if you get it right, you can have a stratospheric rise, but they are like a high reward potential, but high risk as well. So you've got to know what you're doing. It is like swimming with the sharks a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I,
yeah. So in your own sort of real life portfolio,
yeah.
do you invest in these kind of stocks, these high risk
Uh,
stocks?
yeah. Yeah. So I do. I mean, just to point out with helium,
Mm.
if I was invested in it, I don't think I would have stayed in that
Yeah,
long
that's it.
to make what I did make. I mean, I think I put 14,000 into it and I made 146K
Yeah,
out of it. So
yeah,
I think I caught the low and I think I was very close to the top as well.
yeah.
But in real life, I don't think I would have kind of stayed in for that long. I don't think I
No,
would have had it in me, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
do invest in stocks like Helium. One stock that I've also got in my fantasy account at the moment. I think all of my holdings are in our Rock
That's it.
and
Roquefort
yeah,
Therapeutics. Yeah,
Rockfall. And again, Rockfall. I've been in and out of this stock for quite a while, but I've been in it for about a year now. and I've
Mm.
kind of seen it, go to that. Yeah, so that low over there, just is it
Yeah.
5.75 around? Yeah, in
Yeah.
between the high fives and low sixes. At that point, I just thought it was super cheap, right?
Yeah.
So I think also I got a little bit lucky with my exit on Helium, and I saw Rock at that price, and I thought this is way too cheap. And then I just
Yeah.
put more into Rock, and I think I've gained quite a bit on that as well now, which has helped my portfolio.
Well, they 10 million market cap. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, these are, I don't know too much about them, so, but are they sort of clinical or preclinical sort of cancer, cures in cancer, aren't they, or what?
Yeah, so they've got five programs
Yeah.
within the cancer space, and generally, I think biotechs are a pretty hot sector at the moment.
Mm.
Everybody in the industry's kind of got a good feel about it. Rockfort have got patents for five programs, and they're hoping that at some point one of the larger farmers can come to them, and kind of they're mentioning in their RNSs that looking to do licensing deals.
Yeah.
Um, so they're hoping one of the big guys come along and just say, we want these programs, and hopefully, again, something probably similar to helium. I'm hoping.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the hope, you see, and the hope and the
Yeah,
potential. But no, it's right. I mean, if you're looking for like I said, these hope high potential stocks, sector specific wise, they tend to be sort of biotech, or they can be resource companies, and maybe tech as well. But small companies in those sectors, like I said, Helium One was a resource company pretty much, but this is
yeah,
biotech. But they can have stratospheric rises based on news alone, and
yeah.
so
I think I
yeah,
think I think with Rock, the one thing that kind of it gives me a bit of confidence is that the directors do hold quite a bit of stock as well,
yeah.
which kind of shows that they believe in what they're doing as well.
Yeah, I
And
like
that's
that because yeah,
that's
do you know what? Yeah, yeah,
that's
absolutely. I mean,
always a good sign for me.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I do like the company. I do believe in what they're doing, and I think sometimes, especially with things like this, if the science is biotech, right? If the science is there, then
mhm,
technically it is something proven that they have, right?
yeah,
And then it's just a matter of time, from when someone comes along and says, let's get
yeah.
involved.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, no, I do like, I especially like. I mean, of the two, so a lot of people go for resource companies, but I do prefer biotech 'cause I think they are not only sort of, you know, have a potential to rise very quickly, very fast, but they are doing something positive for,
yeah,
human health, which is
yeah,
always a
yeah.
good
That's
thing.
another thing, right? They have a
Mm,
positive impact on the
yeah,
health of people, and that's always a good thing.
yeah,
As well as trying to make some money out of it, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
But the biotech in particular, I think the guy last week he was in Angle and he made a lot of his money in that, right? That was also
Okay, yeah,
um, um,
angle, yeah.
Josh. Was it his name?
Josh,
Josh,
that's
right?
right. Josh,
Yeah,
Josh literally got in, jumped in, literally. I did thought, how does this guy know? Yeah, where was it? Yeah, no, it's,
I think it's the second one.
AGL is not that's not
AGL,
angling
sorry. Yeah,
direct. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
there we are. Yeah,
So
literally, Josh took a position here, and
yeah,
and it did like 130% rise the next day. It's like,
yeah,
wow, the
yeah.
timing is phenomenal. I know. Mm.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think in general, these kind of stocks, there are a lot of deals going on, aren't there, in this market?
yeah, yeah.
And
I
they,
would say, as far as managing, risk and reward there. I mean, I always say to people, if you look at a share price of a company, the maximum amount of downside you can have, unless you put a stop loss in, is 100%. But the
yeah,
upside can
yeah,
be
of course,
multiples of that. So
yeah,
what you should never do is try and never limit the upside. Never just sell on a whim because you've made 20% profit, because that could go on to be 120%. So I'd put us, if you are in profit, for example,
yeah,
like say, 100%, you think, oh, it's going to come back down. Just put a stop loss in, and if it comes
yeah,
down, trip that out. But if it continues up, just move that slowly up, and you can continue to have a bigger chunk of that profit. But so never limit the upside, but limit the downside, and you find
yeah.
turn a profit. Yeah, well, good.
That's something that took me a couple of years to realize.
Yeah.
I was in a position where a lot of the times I would fall in love with the stock, and just
Yes.
kind of think it has to come back, and you start believing your own ideas about the stock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I kind of realized, well, this isn't the way. And now I'm in a position where I try and limit my loss. I mean,
Yeah.
losses are inevitable in this game. You will
Mm,
get them.
mm,
But I try and limit how much I do lose and try and focus on my winners and try and win more.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Keep it
that's
small. I mean, that's do you know what? It's like. I'm literally most of the way through a book at the moment, writing a book, investing,
Yeah,
and I'm looking up the two most common reasons private investors lose money. And in fact, most private investors lose money in individual companies. If you invest in funds, pretty much safe. But
yeah,
individual companies, and they lose for two reasons. One is they sort of believe in the story and they hold on to the losses too much. Not only that, they double down on their losses,
yeah,
therefore leveraging their portfolio towards their losses. So they hold on for too long, and then also they cut any winners too early. So they
yes,
literally and then you've got a dynamic then of having big losses, small winners, and you don't make any money that way. You've got to do the other
yeah.
way around, small losses, big winners. And
I,
and so yeah, it's just getting that right to portfolio management, which I think is an under, taught skill really in investing.
yeah,
People talk about what stocks are winners and what are not. Doesn't matter what the stock is. If you don't buy it right and sell it right, you can still lose money. So
yeah. Of course, of
yeah.
course.
I know,
It's
but it's
a,
like, do you know what? A recent one of mine was Destiny Farmer, and I got into this and I held it for a little bit. I thought this is and I bought it sort of down here, and I thought, what's going on here? It's got two assets in phase 3 studies, pretty much going into them. One partnered on a deal, they raise money. So as far as I'm concerned, with these hope high potential stocks, you don't want the story to be about the money, the funding. If they've got funding, the story can flourish. It's shot up here, and yet the broker target is something like another 600% up, but never believe that broker target, because if you got a bit of profit there, make sure you lock it in, because
yeah,
this can happen. The recent news, which wasn't that bad, it was a delay on something. It
yeah.
wasn't that bad, but it just collapsed. And so I literally, you could see a bit of support there. I put a line in there, and I had a stop loss there, just sold out. But I mean, I made it sort of 95% on that. But it's like you've got to be prepared to take profit, and that's the problem. Some people will hold on to the story thinking it'll achieve that 700% rise. It may do, but if it starts to wobble, don't ignore a profit. You've
Of
got,
course, yeah,
if it's a decent profit as well. I'm not talking about 5-10%. If you sit on 90% profit, you've got to take it, because if you do 90% profit every time you make a trade, you'll be super rich in a few years' time.
yeah,
So
yeah. Of course, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so what do you do for a living then, Ali?
So I'm actually in finance. My background is in development finance and mortgages.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I do, and I also work in a bit of I do a bit of trade finance as well, and invoice finance.
Interesting stuff. That's good. Well,
So
listen.
generally, credit is my industry. It's what
Yeah,
I've always kind of been involved in. So I'm always kind of now I'm always looking at balance sheets and things like that. Anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah.
essentially just applying the same knowledge to when I'm trading.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, it's nice to see. And I do love talking to other investor traders, because I love it. It's a passion of mine. Like I
Yeah,
said, I could talk to you for ages about it. But well done, fellow. I'm going to send you a best-selling investment book, that one of the ones I've read and I've really liked. I'm going to send you that. So give me an address afterwards. But also, you have got the second golden ticket. I'm not going to tell you what this is. It's a
okay.
mysterious ticket, right? All will be revealed soon. But you've got one of those as well. But
Just
AimPanda, very well done. Thank you very much. And I wish you every success for the rest of 2024. Hopefully, maybe we'll be talking again in a month's time or a couple of months' time if you do well. Who knows?
you know what? I've got my doubts purely because there's another chap in the top 10 who has kind of guided me through my trading journey a little bit, and I'm above him at the moment. But he's very, very like quickly catching up. So I feel
Oh,
like
cool. Who
I
is
feel like
that? Hang on.
watermelon.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what money. Yes, 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 yes.
So he's very
Well,
quickly catching up, and he's telling me, look, yeah, I'm going to knock you off the top spot very soon. So be prepared.
yeah, I'm aware of what money. He's been around for a while. He's an experienced guy. He knows a lot,
Yeah,
and he's a good trader. He's in and
yeah,
out of that.
yeah.
So, but let's have a quick look at the thing. So,
There he is,
Uh,
fourth.
yeah, there he is,
Yeah.
248. Oh,
So
what I
he's
love.
catching he's catching up very quickly. So
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
quite a
yeah,
lot behind,
yeah,
but seems to be
yeah,
catching up. So let's see what happens.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's good. I love that. Marvelous. Ali, thanks for that. And hopefully we'll speak again very soon. Thanks a lot.
No worries, Justin. Thank you for your time.